Now, I don't need to recap the Kanye come-up story, because that was chronicled firsthand in the brilliant 3-part Netflix series Genius. But what I will say is that in 2005, when Kim Kardashian was following Paris Hilton all around the world, slurping up clout like some sort of clout-slurping machine, Kanye West would be releasing a little song called Gold Digger, the anthem rallying against gold-digging women who would use men as stepping stones and wallets. It had witty bars about gold-digging chicks who would use child support money for plastic surgery, and a breakdown where Kanye would lead men in a chant demanding prenups and reminding men everywhere that divorce will end up in the woman taking half of their money. It was safe to say at this point that Kanye West was destined for stardom and running on pure talent. His personal perspective that he was putting into his songs was pure gold, and he was able to make hit after hit by just expressing his true feelings about the world, standing head and shoulders above his peers in this generation of rappers. And while others were making hollow, shallow tracks about money, hedonism and chasing girls, Kanye was flipping the script, making deep, thoughtful songs about Jesus, ill-intentioned women, and his own insecurities. And it's ironic that the Kanye West that we know today seems to have mutated so far from the values that drew people to him in the first place. In fact, looking at this era of Kanye West's career, there's so many examples of lyrics and songs that seem to foreshadow his future failed relationships. The following year in 2006, Kanye West would assist West Coast legend The Game on his song Wouldn't Get Far, a sample-driven track where Game and Ye would discuss the life of hip-hop groupies, women who would use their sexuality to try and weasel their way into the rap game and get their claws into the famous rappers they were rubbing shoulders with. Kanye had lyrics in this song pondering if women wouldn't be with the famous rappers if they weren't rich, high-value men. And funnily enough, one of these clout-chasing rapper gobblers that The Game was talking about on this very track with Kanye West was none other than Kim Kardashian herself, with Kim and Paris being seen looking very cozy with The Game back in 2006 when this song was released. Gold Digger and Wouldn't Get Far would be two iconic tracks which would come back to haunt Kanye West in the future. As with The Game's close relationship with Kim Kardashian, but none of what was going on at the time appeared to put Kanye off pursuing her. And as we know, he still became completely obsessed with her after seeing those sizzling paparazzi pics from Australia alongside Paris Hilton this very same year. I mean, just think about this for a second, right? Kanye West made a song with The Game about hot chicks that use up and spit out rappers. Kim and Paris are quite literally hanging off The Game like a G-Unit chain, and Kanye West still said, you know what? I'll have a piece of that. It's crazy. In fact, it seemed that the only thing stopping Kanye West from truly taking his shot at Kim Kardashian at this point was his own relationship and engagement with Alexis Pfeiffer that was still going on at this point. But even with Alexis on his arm, it seemed like Kanye West was doing everything he could to try and penetrate Kim's inner circle, with the three of them even being pictured together at an event in September 2007, and I'm pretty sure most people would look at this picture and genuinely assume that Kim and Kanye were the couple, not Alexis. But setting that aside for a minute, unfortunately, only a few months after that photo was taken, and not long after the release of Kanye's third album, the mega hit Graduation, tragedy would strike in Kanye's personal life. In November 2007, Kanye's beloved mother, mentor, and manager Donda West would tragically pass away following plastic surgery. Donda West in many ways fell victim to the Hollywood lifestyle that Kanye's talent had brought them into. The plastic surgery and image-obsessed lifestyle that the Kardashian family would go on to dominate, because Donda West passed away in her home not long after a liposuction procedure that she had gone through with the express purpose of improving her appearance to better fit in with the Hollywood lifestyle that her son had brought her into. The circumstances surrounding Donda West's death are suspicious and painful. If you'd like a deeper understanding, there's a full 45-minute breakdown of the entire situation elsewhere on my channel. But setting aside the grisly details, one thing was for sure: the death of Donda West was the most significant event in Kanye West's entire life. The loss of his mother changed his course drastically, and not only did he no longer have the level-headed guidance and support system that his mother had provided for him his whole life, but he would openly blame himself for his mother's passing and refusing himself any time to grieve for this devastating loss. Kanye has said in numerous interviews that he blames himself and his move to Los Angeles for his mother's death, telling one interviewer, "When I moved to LA, she moved to LA, and she wound up in a place that would eat her alive. Even if I stayed in New York, it wouldn't have been like that. If I'd have lived in New York, she'd still be here." And another saying, "I moved to California, so did my mum. I feel my mum moved to California and did stuff she wouldn't have done if she was still in Chicago." And another, when Kanye was asked what he felt he sacrificed the most to achieve his level of success, he replied, his mum. If I'd have never moved to LA, she'd still be alive. I don't want to go far into it because it'll bring me to tears. Only 12 days after the death of his beloved mother, Kanye played his first concert at the O2 Arena in London. At this show, Kanye dedicated a performance of his tribute song Hey Mama to his mother Donda West. This is something he would keep doing as touring continued year after year. In fact, to this day, there are numerous instances you can go and watch of Kanye attempting to perform this song, breaking down, overcome with grief, and being unable to finish the performance. And even outside of the music, Kanye was going on grief-stricken on-stage rants only weeks after his mother's passing.
50 people, 100 people I ain't never talked to in like the past 3 years call me out the blue, I be talking about, I just want to tell you that I'm giving you your support and stuff, and I appreciate the support and all that, but don't suggest what I'm supposed to do, you know. What you need to do, you just need to stop touring, you just need to go home and clear your head. Go home to what, motherfucker? Because if they see you out, and you go outside, and then the media catches it, man, fuck the media. And there's nothing that she loved more than to come to the shows and scream louder than any fan, because she was my first fan that was screaming before anybody else. If she was here, she would tell me to get on that stage and kill it, dog. She would tell me to go on the dark tour and take over the world and be #1 like how I taught you to be, baby.
And Kanye did go on that glow-in-the-dark tour and take over, no matter how hard it was on him. But before he set off on that tour, he broke off his engagement with his longtime fiancée Alexis Pfeiffer, with it being said that his relationship was simply at odds with his new life on the road. The loss of his mother and his relationship represented a devastating double heartbreak for Kanye during this time. Both of the women who had been there for him his entire come-up were now gone. Now, the majority of the songs on 808s and Heartbreak were about Kanye's breakup with Alexis and the feelings of intense heartbreak that he was going through during this time. But Kanye did touch on the true dark cloud that was over him during this time, caused by the devastating loss of his mother, on just 2 tracks near the end. There was Coldest Winter, a song about how Kanye felt after finding out that he had lost his mother, and Pinocchio's Story, an on-stage freestyle where Kanye breaks down and essentially blames himself for his mother's death, a song that was apparently only included on the album at the direct request of Beyoncé herself. Kanye's therapy was his music, and the music was a huge success. After 808s and Heartbreak, Kanye was on top musically and career-wise, but perhaps people were dead right when they had said that he really should have taken a break during this hectic period, as it was only a year after this, in 2009, on that fateful night where Kanye confronted Taylor Swift on stage at the VMAs, swiftly becoming public enemy #1. And in his apology for that incident on Jay Leno, Kanye would justify his actions, saying that he never truly got an opportunity to grieve for his mother.
I was fortunate enough to meet your mom and talk with your mom a number of years ago. What do you think she would have said about this? Would she be disappointed in this? Would she give you a lecture?
Yeah, obviously, I deal with hurt, and, so many, celebrities, they never take the time off, and I've never taken the time off to really, I just music after music and tour after tour and tour, and I'm just ashamed that my hurt caused, someone else's hurt. My dream of what award shows were supposed to be caused, and I don't try to justify it because I was just in the wrong. That's period. But I need to, after this, take some time off and just analyze how I'm gonna, make it through the rest of this life, how I'm gonna improve